So this is why I'm saying in all of my AI and spirit videos that the dominant focus of humanity right now is on AI happening. Welcome to another episode of AI and Spirit. This is the YouTube series that I produced on the Positively Focused YouTube channel, where I talk about the convergence that is occurring between artificial intelligence and spirituality. It is the moment in time where the technological singularity is occurring, where we are moving rapidly into a probable alternate future in which we're going to live in an age of superabundance. And that technological singularity represents a spiritual inflection. It's a moment in time where enough human beings, human consciousness, have aligned with that probable alternate future reality so that that future reality is becoming our now. And that's what we're seeing right now as artificial intelligence, the first supersonic tsunami, washes over our civilization, closely followed by the second supersonic tsunami, which is embedded AI or humanoid robots. And in this episode, I want to recap a chart that I showed in my last episode because I included a lot of information in that hour-long episode, and I get that it might have been too long for many people to watch it. But in this episode, I want to talk about the graphic that I showed the infographic that I showed, because it perfectly illustrates what I just said, which is that humanity, enough members of humanity are dominantly aligned with the probable alternate future reality in which artificial intelligence basically runs our civilization. When I say that human consciousness, enough of human consciousness is now aligned with that probable alternate future reality, I'm not making that stuff up. I'm speaking with authority because my broader perspective and your broader perspective knows the fundamental principles, the fundamental spiritual principles underlying how physical reality works. And when you tap into your broader perspective, you have the knowing that your broader perspective has. And that's why I can say with authority that enough points of human consciousness have lined up with this probable future reality that is becoming our now, and that's why it's becoming our now. And I know some human beings love facts, and so I'm going to show some facts, the facts that I showed in the previous episode, that substantiate exactly what I just said. So let's just get into it. This is going to be a rather short AI and Spirit episode, as will I think the next two that I'm going to publish, because I'm recapping information that I shared in that previous hour-long episode. I'm recapping it and pulling it out and encapsulating it in one episode, so that in separate episodes, so that you can have access to something that you might not have looked at because the previous video was so long. So let's take a look at this infographic. Now remember, what I'm talking about here is the dominant state of humanity right now is focused on aligning with the future probable reality, the future probable alternate reality that includes artificial intelligence and humanoid robots sweeping over our society and thereby creating that society, that Star Trek future that the technologists like to talk about. And what I want to point to here, and I'm not going to go over this entire graphic. You can go back and watch the hour-long graphic in which I spent probably 20 minutes dissecting this graph. But the main points that I'm wanting to focus on are the top line of the graph, where it says 39% of United States citizens say AI has more benefits than drawbacks, and 59% of the world citizens say AI has more benefits than drawbacks. That stat I want to look at and focus on, as well as the stats on the lower left-hand side of this graph, where it compares experts' opinions on the benefits of AI versus the general public's opinions on the benefits of AI. These points that I'm making in this graph, the top line statistic and the lower left-hand side, substantiate what I just said about how enough points of consciousness that are human are focusing on this probable alternate reality in which we live in an AI-enabled future. So let's look at it again. So almost 60% of the world population, by the way, all of these statistics I did not make up. The sources of the statistics are in the lower left-hand side. You can see where those are, and if you want, you can go look for yourself. So almost 60% of the world says that AI has more benefits or presents more benefits than drawbacks to us. That shows, so almost 60%. So 2 out of 3 world citizens are seeing more benefits than drawbacks. That is lining up with the future probability in which AI is going to dominate in our society. I don't mean dominate like take over humanity. I mean be the prevalent way that humans get things done. Meanwhile, this is so good, almost 40% of American citizens say that AI presents more benefits than drawbacks. So that means the converse of that number is almost 60%, the same number of people the same number of world citizens who believe AI has more benefits than drawbacks. In America, almost 60% of Americans believe that AI presents more drawbacks than benefits. So almost 60% of Americans are lined up with the perspective that AI is a problem, whereas almost 60% of the world is lined up with the idea that AI is going to benefit. Now, an interesting question that one who's really listening to what I'm saying could ask is, well, if 60% of American citizens are lined up with the idea that AI presents more drawbacks than benefits, why are they not dominantly aligned with what they want, and as a result of that, get a world in which AI does not dominate? And the answer, this is so freaking good. The answer is those people, the 60% of Americans, so it's 39% of Americans say AI has more benefits than drawbacks. The converse of that number, if you round it up a little bit, so from 39 to 40%, so 40% of Americans say AI has more benefits than drawbacks. The converse of that number is 60. 60 plus 40 is 100. So the 39%, we've rounded up to 40, is also saying that 60% of Americans believe that AI brings more drawbacks than benefits. And so they are pushing against that. 60% of Americans are pushing against AI. They're saying, I don't want AI. I don't want AI to take over the jobs. I don't want AI to do this or that. Or I'm worried that AI is going to do this or that and destroy humanity and cause all kinds of problems. And here's the thing about that orientation. This is so good. When you push against something, the something you're pushing against is going to get bigger. This is a fundamental spiritual principle of how physical reality works. Whatever you resist persists. And so these people, the 60%, the 59% of people in the United States who believe the opposite of what the 39% believe, which is that AI brings more drawbacks than benefits. So 60% of Americans believe that AI is bringing more drawbacks than benefits. And we know that because 39%, almost 40% of Americans say that AI has more benefits than drawbacks. So that 60%, you guys, that 60% of Americans are pushing against artificial intelligence. And what did I just say is a fundamental principle of how physical reality works. Whatever you push against is going to get bigger. So the 60% of Americans who are pushing against AI happening are aligned with the 60% of the world that wants AI, essentially, that says that AI is going to bring more benefits than drawbacks. So there are more people lined up with AI happening than there are people not lined up with AI happening, and that's why it's happening. The majority of the world believes it's going to be good, and so they're directly aligned. The majority of Americans believe it's bad, and by pushing against it, they are aligned with it happening, because whatever you push against gets bigger. So this is why I'm saying in all of my AI and spirit videos that the dominant focus of humanity right now is on AI happening, the technological singularity or the spiritual inflection that I talk about in all of my AI and spirit episodes. Now, this is so freaking good. I just love this. So since we have the majority, it's the majority, 60% of Americans, that's the majority in America. 60% of the world, that's the majority in the world. Since we have the majority of the world focused on AI happening, it's happening. And then if you look in the lower left-hand side of this graph, we can see the amplifier. Now, in every, I resisted saying this is so good because it's so good, but in every aspect of physical reality, there's always an amplifier. There's something that propels even more the focus of consciousness. And in this case, it's the AI experts. So if you look at the lower left-hand corner of this infographic, you can see that the experts and the public see very different futures with regard to AI implementation. In almost every case, the AI experts are almost 2 times, if not 3 times, more optimistic than the general public that this is going to happen. And so the subset of human civilization known as the AI experts are the amplifiers of this momentum, which is focusing on this reality becoming our now, wherein we have a fully AI-enabled and fully humanoid robot-enabled civilization. And it's obvious because there's so much optimism among the experts. So what we have here, this is so good, what we have here is a substantiation of the perspective that I share in all of my YouTube videos, but particularly the AI and Spirit videos, the substantiation of why this is happening now, the reason why the technological singularity, which is a spiritual inflection, is happening now is because at the spiritual level, consciousness is spiritual. At the spiritual level, the majority of human beings are aligned with it happening. And the majority of Americans are, through their misalignment of it happening, they're pushing against it happening, they too are aligned with it happening. Because when you say, I don't want something, the universe doesn't hear the word don't. So when you say, I don't want AI, what the universe hears you say is, I want AI. And so you get that. That's where you're putting your focus. And so that's what's going to grow. And so this is why I'm saying that the dominant focus of humanity right now is on AI happening, because that's what's happening. And the statistics show it. The statistics show it. So good. So as I said, I'm going to keep this video brief, and this was brief. Really appreciate you watching, but I do this for myself. If you like these videos, I encourage you to subscribe and like this video if you like to, only if it is an expression of your genuine expression. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.